Yeah. Huh? Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Buggy like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, big ups to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all being on this episode of the Coma, man. Let's move into this, man. Y'all hit the like button for me. Please feel free to hit the subscribe button, hit the share button as well for the Black and Gold as we up in this thing representing the Coma. This portion right here of the show, fam, is Saints on the hot seat. Who has the most at stake in terms of the New Orleans heading into the 2024 season? As we kind of get into this little breakdown right here. Saints on the hot seat. Who's on the hot seat for the Black and Gold? Now, we know a lot of this is the case because the reality is the Saints do have some issues that they have to improve upon. Now, they did get some help on this team. They got some help on the team from a defensive position. They added some talent in terms of adding some wide receiver help with Cedric Wilson. They figured out the offensive line, but the biggest change to the Saints happened with the coaching staff, which was the biggest need that they had. They needed some more accountability and people that was, detail centered, and to make sure guys do it right. And when they don't do it right, correct them. And if they keep doing it wrong, have balls to be able to replace them or move them out of the way so that one player's dysfunction doesn't hurt the team from winning, you see? So anyway, going into this article right here, they talk about who's on the hot seat. Well, Dennis Allen wants to, and this is what the article, shout out to NOLA.com. They dropped this article and they said the Saints, Dennis Allen wants players to put their heads down and go to work. So if he only thinks it was that easy, the NFL is ripe with drama. No matter how often coaches plead for players to tune out the noise, the message doesn't stop the chatter from taking place. Jobs are at stake and in turn, millions of dollars. With training camp still weeks away, look at some of the players that have the most at stake going into the 2024 season. So shout out to Matthew Paris, who wrote this article. First up on the docket is Dennis Allen. Obvious, this is a huge year for DA. The Saints strongly believe they have the right man for the job. Remember Mickey Loomis comparing him to Chuck Noll. You remember that craziness early this offseason? But if New Orleans doesn't make the playoffs next season, it would be hard to imagine Allen getting the fourth year at the helm without a prior postseason appearance. Yes, indeed. There are only so many changes a franchise can make before deciding to move on from its coach. It's Allen's first two seasons have brought significant change each offseason they have. After the Saints went 7-10 in Allen's first season, they gave their coach a new quarterback, Derek Carr, and allowed him to make changes along the defensive staff. Then after a disappointing 9-8 season last year, Allen again shook up things by getting rid of most of the offensive staff and bringing in offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak. Simply put, the Saints have changed the quarterback, the defensive coordinator, and the offensive coordinator under Allen. The coach becomes the next in line to lose his job if results aren't there. This is a great point. I agree. There will be a pressure on Allen next season to wade New Orleans through what appears to be a difficult schedule to begin. Imagine the scrutiny Allen could face if the Saints are 2-4 when former coach Sean Payton and the Broncos come to town in week number 7. The Saints have historically operated as a patient support base, but if Allen doesn't get his team to perform, they may have no other choice but to part ways. And this is a great point. Allen needs to win. This is a great point because the reality is very simple. It's very simple. The writer nailed it. You changed everything. You got rid of everybody. You got rid of Pete Carmichael. You bring in all your people. This team is not Sean Payton's team no more. This is Dennis Allen's team. That's a great point. A lot of the defensive people, that's his handpicked guy. Marcus Robinson, Joe Woods, most of these guys are his people he worked with. The Saints gave him Derek Carr. That's a quarterback he drafted, meaning Dennis Allen. Then in the last year, you got rid of the entire offensive room, the majority of offensive pieces. Ain't nobody else to get rid of except for Dennis Allen. He got to win. And what saves Dennis Allen's job is the Saints make the playoffs. That's how low the floor is. That's how low the floor is. All he has to do is not win a playoff game, but to get them to the playoffs, and Mickey Loomis will then will wax poetically how great, how high it was, and we finally waved. We just needed some patience to get back to it. All this kind of nonsense. But in the end, the floor is set where all he has to do is make the playoffs, which sounds simple. But the truth is, like the writer makes, that if the Saints don't win a lot of these games early on in the season, the Saints have to be with it. They don't have to be perfect, but they're going to have to learn and win during these first 4 or 5 games, maybe not the Carolina game. But could you imagine the pressure if the Saints lose to Carolina? I'm not expecting them to, but no disrespect to Carolina. But if the Saints lose that game, you don't want to start the season in the hole. So those first, not 5 weeks, but the first week, Carolina should be a win. But after that, the next 4 games that the Saints have, those are big games because you don't want to start off in the hole. And even though it's a long season, you don't want to open the season up in the hole if you're Dennis Allen, because the pressure is going to be unbearable. Derek Carr, the coach's fate is often tied to highest quarterback performance. So it should be no surprise to know that Carr is also facing a big year in this upcoming year. The Saints restructured Carr's contract this offseason, which could make it more financially challenging to part ways with him next spring. But getting out from Carr's deal is far from impossible. The Saints have a history of making things work work under the salary cap if need be. Despite having 2 younger quarterbacks on a roster, Carr isn't necessarily on the hot seat because of what's behind him. Rather, if Carr underperforms again, and he's not the difference maker the team brass imagined when they signed him to a 4-year deal, the Saints could be forced to evaluate whether it's worth changing directions. I'm going to say this. Derek Carr, $150 million in this year, you ain't get rid of him. But after the second year, going to 3rd year and 4th year, all this kind of old stuff, Saints might have to make a move. Now, he is tied to Dennis Allen. If Derek Carr and Dennis Allen don't get the team to the playoffs, Dennis Allen will be fired, and more than likely, depending on who the coach is, and the Saints are more than likely going to try to do the cheap man thing. They're not going to go out and go find a respectable coach. They're more than likely look inside and probably promote from within, whether that's Clint Kubiak or whatever. But I just don't see him going out and getting a smart coach and go and get a guy like that and this type of stuff. I don't see them doing it because they had an opportunity to did it before, and they listened to Sean Payton as opposed to listening to what they needed to do. So if Dennis Allen fails, Derek Carr could be out of here too, because you don't want to hamstrung the next coach unless the guy wants him to be Derek Carr, his quarterback, to bring him in. But after 2 years, and if you don't get it in a year like last year and he comes into this year and they don't do it this year with the new offensive scheme, yeah, Derek Carr is definitely in trouble. So yeah, the Saints at a crossroads. They're depending on Allen and Carr to lead the team to the playoffs. They're going to have to do it. The 2017 draft class. already is written now. Jeff Duncan wrote about this, but the season could be setting up for a final hurrah for the remaining members of the Saints 2017 class. This is worth talking about. Alvin Kamara has no remaining guaranteed money left on his deal. That's led to a contract dispute between two sides. Marshawn Lattimore appears to be on the board following an offseason near constant trade rumors, but the Saints could very well explore moving the cornerback next offseason if they need be. And tackle Ryan Ramczyk has been away from the team because of chronic knee injury, which may prevent him from playing football ever again. When previously asked about trading Lattimore, Loomis said he isn't in the business of shipping away players who can still contribute. The 2024 season will be a chance for the 2017 draftees to show what they have left in the tank. Ryan Ramczyk, in my for all intents purposes, to me, I think Ryan Ramczyk is done. Lattimore plays for the Saints this year, and then the Saints trade him next year. And then I think out of the remaining guys, Alvin Kamara gets his money, a 2-year extension with the black and gold, because the Saints are not ready to replace him yet. Kendre Miller's not ready, in my humble estimation. All right, let's move on. Pete Werner. All right, so Werner's seat may not be as warm as the rest of the people on this list, but next season still matters plenty for the Saints starting linebacker. For one, he can retain the starting spot. Can he? The Saints brought in free agent Willie Gay and Khaleke Hudson to push Werner, who coaches have said has responded to the challenge. But Werner will need to play better and than he did last season when his production slipped despite playing a career-high 16 games. Werner, too, is in a contract year. Beyond having to fend off Gay and Hudson for his job, he'll also have to perform well enough to secure the next deal. Now, the going rate for off-ball linebackers can vary dramatically, but could he have a chance to cash in with a big year? Now, listen, this is true. Pete Werner's on a contract year. Saints knew this. Willie Gay coming in. Willie Gay fits better next to Demario Davis. Khaleke Hudson, I see him more as a special teams option. But Willie Gay is the guy, if you're looking at it. And that's the thing, that Pete Werner, intelligent linebacker, played all the games last year, like the writer mentioned. But Willie Gay is what the Saints been looking for. He's a linebacker. He got one more year of experience than Pete Werner. He got champions. He got a couple of championships, I won't say, under his belt, playing with the Chiefs, and he ready to step into a larger role. This is a 1-year proven deal for Willie Gay. He is the type of linebacker that will work next to Demario Davis, because Demario is not laterally as gifted as he used to be. He lost a lot of that lateral ability. So you need a linebacker that can move very fast, and that's Willie Gay. If Willie Gay's on his game, Willie Gay is going to make some money, and he could possibly be a potential replacement for Demario Davis, who's going into his 13th NFL, 14th NFL year. I think it's 14, right? All right, and then finally, Mickey Loomis, Slick Mickey Loomis. Let's just address this real quick. If the Saints were to bottom out next season as the worst in the league bottom out, rumors would probably swirl whether Loomis could look to retire. Heck, they did last year when New Orleans missed the playoffs again. But the Saints' longtime GM, gum chewing and all, was adamant he wasn't ready to step down anytime soon. That would leave owner Gail Benson in a position in which she might have to make the final call. And would she really make it? No, she ain't gonna make it. She ain't gonna make the call. Dennis Lauscher wouldn't make the call. You know, Loomis is so ingrained in the Saints hierarchy that he was named as the co-executive of the Benson family trust that the team president, Dennis Lauscher, was unable to perform his duties. Now, the Bensons, Gail, in a late time have shown great faith in Loomis, and he's likely to stick around as long as she owns the team. Even if Loomis retired from football operations, it seemed entirely possible he'd move to a different role in the organization, similar to what Rich McKay, who's now the chief financial officer, or the chief executive officer, serving as a team longtime president. Now, I agree about this. Now, the only way Mickey Loomis is not a part of the Saints organization is if Gail sold the team, and that's within, or if something tragically happened to Gail, God forbid, something happened, and then they would have to move, and a new owner comes in, he might want to clear house with a whole new structure. But as long as she's there and we still stuck with Dennis Lauscher, who's the businessman, Mickey Loomis is not going anywhere. It takes vision, and Dennis Lauscher would have to literally be listening and thinking about, listen, we need an infusion of young people. We need a couple of more football-brained people in this organization. And even if you didn't want to get rid of Mickey Loomis, and like the article mentions that he's ingrained in the trust of the thing, that don't mean that he has to keep the general manager position. Mickey Loomis has 2 jobs. He's the GM and VP. He doesn't need those 2 jobs. Take the general manager job away from him, let him remain the VP, and give somebody else the general manager job. Whether it's our scouting guy, I forget his name, Jeff, what's his face? Jeff Ireland, whether it's Jeff Ireland or if it's Kai Harley, those guys, giving them guys elevation into more of the football brain trust and allowing Mickey to be a VP, because Mickey don't really act as a general manager. He, like we talked about this all the time. He talked about him not doing in-season evaluations and all this kind of stuff. And none of these guys are checking Mickey Loomis for this. So if the team fails, a restructuring, not only a firing of the coach, but a restructuring of the brass underneath Gail Benson, Lauscher, and I've said this before, and I keep giving these people ideas, and I need to start charging their asses for it, because they took my ideas for what I was saying about the Pelicans, is they need to reformat the hierarchy underneath Gail. Like Lauscher needs to become more of a chief financial officer or a chief executive officer, even though they list her as a chief executive officer, maybe an assistant chief or whatever the case may be, but he needs a title that's specific to what he's doing. He's the top businessman of the organization. Football, all that should be something else. There should be another guy that's up under there that has the ability to do that. Now, people think that should be Mickey Loomis because he's already a VP. He's a vice president, where Lauscher's the president. So Mickey should actually have that title. I have no problem with Mickey Loomis at that level as a vice president. As a general manager, I have a problem with him because he doesn't do all the stuff the general manager is supposed to be doing. And plus, you need another guy there, because when he starts screwing up with the general manager and screwing these contracts up, none of these people above him are getting on his back for that, for weighting the team down with bad agreements, kicking the can into the future and all this nonsense. Nobody is going at him except for us to change this around. So unless Lauscher grow a brain football wise on the field and grow some balls and say, Mickey, we got to reshape this because it's not working, maybe this the year it happens. I doubt it coming into it, but all it takes for them to get the playoffs, not even win, but make the playoffs, saves everybody's jobs. And it makes Mickey looks like he knew what he was talking about, but it won't be easy. So that's the article. Shout out to the writer, man. He did a very good job in laying this out. Very factual, man. Shout out to you. Very good article right here, covering the black and gold, man. Excellent article. And just to talk about this one, this is Jon Gruden. This has been something we've been dealing with for a while with Jon Gruden. We know the Saints have an interest in Jon Gruden as an advisor. And this is something else to just go over with. And we've talked about this before in multiple articles, but with Jon Gruden, losing his bid. And I don't know if you guys have been following this, but Gruden recently kind of went back to court after they kicked out his, I think it was in late April. Was it April? I think about a month or so ago, the NFL basically won, where the case said that the case could proceed into arbitration, which basically mean the case would be handled. Gruden's case would be handled by the top arbiter, which is Roger Goodell, who the lawsuit's about. So Jon Gruden was trying to figure out, he was trying to air the dirty laundry of what happened with him, but he believes he was railroaded with everybody else. He wanted to blow the top off this thing. So why this is a Saints matter is because the Saints, and this is because of Derek Carr has interest in Jon Gruden. He wants him, he had him into camp last year as an observer, giving him tips on how to do this with the offense. It failed, but in the end, when Pete Carmichael was here, but it didn't look like it was supposed to look. But they thinking once the particulars of the lawsuit is out the way, then ultimately that maybe the Saints could pursue getting Jon Gruden as a advisor, a senior advisor, or something like that. This is Derek Carr's wishes. But anyway, to get into the article, shout out to the writer Niles Carpenter, our Saints contributor, dropping the scoop on the article. Gruden loses bid for Nevada Supreme Court reconsideration and lawsuit versus NFL. Long ass title, man, it's because there's a lot to talk about. Here it is. Former Raiders head coach Gruden has lost his bid for the Nevada Supreme Court to reconsider his lawsuit against the NFL, which alleges contract interference and conspiracy. The lawsuit, filed after Gruden's resignation as the coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, claims that the NFL forced his departure by leaking emails containing racist, sexist, and homophobic content that he had sent years earlier while working at ESPN. Two justices upheld the NFL's Constitution arbitration clause, while another justice expressed concern over Commissioner Roger Goodell arbitrating a case where he is the named defendant. With the lawsuit's future uncertain, Gruden's potential role as an advisor for the Saints remains in limbo, despite strong support from current Saints quarterback Derek Carr, who has advocated for Gruden's involvement with the team. Now, Gruden's legal battle centers around his claim that the NFL's selective leak of emails, which were discovered during a workplace culture investigation of the Washington Commanders, destroyed his career and endorsement deals. The league appeal followed a 2022 Las Vegas judge decision that Gruden's allegations could demonstrate specific intent by the NFL to force his resignation. With the Supreme Court refusal to reconsider Gruden's pursuit of monetary damages remains stalled. Now, Gruden's extensive NFL background, including a Super Bowl victory with the Bucs and a second stint with the Raiders, adds a significant backdrop to this high-profile legal and professional saga. So there you go. And as you know, that's another article right there. You guys can go to the whothatdaily.com and read the article. And it also has Gruden burning the house down. This is also attached to it a video that we did several months back that our chief editor attached there. But it was interesting, like I said before, about this case with Jon Gruden. The court, the article made reference to the fact that it had concerns that Jon Gruden, didn't want this to go into arbitration because the guy he was suing was the arbiter of the investigation. It's a kangaroo court. So if they saying, yeah, we're gonna let him go ahead on in the arbitration, like, hold on, I'm suing this guy. This guy is the one who destroyed my career, according to Jon Gruden. Y'all gonna allow him to rule in my case? Just reconsider what you're saying. And they said, nah, we're not gonna reconsider because of that clause. You got to go to him, and you're not going to get justice from the guy that you're suing. It's just not going to happen. So look like Jon Gruden right now looking like he was defeated, and look like the NFL won again. Looks like the NFL is won again, family, right now. So very interesting. All right. So with that being said, fam, listen, we're going to get ready to cut out on that. Listen, I appreciate y'all for chiming in on this episode of the show. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share. Listen, I just want to give you guys a shout out to a lot of the family members, our Patreon champions, our YouTube membership family. Thank y'all for subscribing and helping the platform, and much love to you guys as we continue to move forward. This is a lot of interesting stuff as we getting ready to get the Saints season coming up soon. The rookies are going to get ready to report to camp, then the veterans, and then before long we're going to have practices, mandatory practices. The Saints, I'm anticipating the Saints getting a deal done with Alvin Kamara between now and the start of the regular season, a 2-year extension. They know they need AK-41 to kind of make a serious run right here. A lot of stuff. They're going to need these guys, and they don't want any hiccups because a lot of jobs are on the line, to be honest with you. So having Alvin Kamara there helps. All right, so anyway, with that being said, fam, I'm going to cut out on that. Y'all feel free to join the whothatdaily.com, share the articles. Our writers are doing a good job over there, and we've been doing a lot of this with them for support from you guys and what we were able to build. The whothatdaily.com's been out there for like 5 years, I want to say, and they put in some good work over there. We represent. All right, so anyway, we're going to holler at y'all on the next one, man. Much love to the fam. Keep your heads up, and who that to you.
Yeah, Boogie like Vincent, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. that at? Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that at? Boogie like this and I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Fucking like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that at. Where we do that at. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that at. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO